okay, and then give you time to do the assignment, okay,
Okay.
and then you can submit it. Is there provisions to submit your assignment?
Sorry.
Is there provisions in the LMS to submit your assignment?
Uh, Actually, I haven't checked for this particular assignment. For earlier assignments, yes, I had
Okay, you
to
can talk
submit
to
it.
Ashutosh, okay, and I want you to submit the assignment, okay.
Okay. The submit like assignment is only to just create a positioning statement for two different.
Positioning statement and fill it up in the template.
Yeah. Right. Correct.
I wanted you to create the template also. I gave you a image of how the template will be. I want you
Hmm.
to see your documentation skills also. Got it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So probably like I'll take the session till like 6:45, 7. I want you to take another half an hour, okay, and finish the assignment. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. So because like the first half an hour, the plan was to discuss on the assignment, but yeah, let's go. Can finish it and then we can work on it. So Karthik, yesterday we spoke about yesterday we spoke about product positioning, right? The positioning statement and the positioning template and the advantages of product positioning, correct?
Yes.
And how
Yes.
product positioning helps the product team. So today we are going to talk about user journey. Okay, user journey, how user persona, what does user persona Karthik, are you able to see me and hear me?
Yes. Now.
Yes, I had a network issue, man. Sorry. Just 1 minute. Let me pull up a real time user journey example also. Okay, that way.
Your screen is not shared.
One minute, Karthik. I'm trying to pull some real-time examples.
Okay.
Are you able to see my screen now, Karthik?
Yes.
So let us start with understanding user journey. Okay, I don't want you to see the screen. I want you to just generally tell me what do you feel a user journey is.
User journey is the, I guess, user experience, about user experience regarding the product.
Try again.
Uh, the explanation how a user can use the product.
90% you got it. So basically, how a user interacts or experiences a product. Okay. So basically, how he discovers the product, how he interacts with the product, and how he experiences a product across the different stages of the product. Okay. Like for example, let's take Uber again. Okay.
Yeah.
We spoke about need and everything. This comes into the requirement part of it a bit, Karthik. This is not entirely the strategic part of it, but this will help you in strategy also and in the requirements also. So basically, this is more like a functional flow. You could also say this like a functional flow or a functional sequence of how a user interacts with the product day to day. Okay. It could be you could take one particular feature and see how he interacts with it, or you could take all features and how the user interacts across all these features. Everything could be clubbed into user journey. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. So now talking about this, let's take the example of a Uber. Yeah. You are a customer for Uber. So what you do, you install the app, right?
Yes.
Then you have to log into the app, right? And then you have to provide permissions to the app,
Yes.
correct? And then you have to select the location which you want to start from, location which we want to go from. Okay. Ideally, it will take a existing location or a current location, and then you will select what kind of ride you want. Okay. You will select whether it is like a rental or this, or then you will select which kind of car you want. You want a cab, you're a premium cab, or a SUV, or like a hatchback or a auto. Correct. Hmm? Then once you select it, the booking process will start. The cab is booked. Okay.
Yes.
OTP is generated. Okay. Then the user, what he does is gives the OTP. The ride starts. The map tracks the location of the user. Correct. Yeah. He's able to view the map and the default time, the time to reach, and all those. Okay. And then he is able to see what is the end time of the ride. And at the end time he's able to see the price to be paid. Okay. And then there is like either online payment, or you can pay through cash, or like pay through Paytm UPI to the driver. Correct. So this
Yes.
is entire functional flow where a user actually installs the app. It could even be like from the need also. User wants to go on a ride. He doesn't have a car. From that also, he decides he comes to know through advertisements, marketing, that there is an app called Uber. He installs it, he logs in, he books a ride, he finishes the ride. Okay, this entire functional flow, end to end user experience, right? Mapping that is called a user journey. Okay,
Okay.
so it is pretty simple. It's just putting a flow. Got it?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's move on. One second. So, Pratik, last we spoke about. So, this is a sample user journey. Okay, let me start
Okay.
by showing you a sample. Here, I would have tracked. I will explain you how I arrived at this, where it actually helps, okay, and everything I'll explain. This is a sample. So basically, this is a CMS application, and this is a real-time CMS application I built. Okay,
Okay.
I did this as a freelance. Okay, and I just built them this user journey, and I created them their BRD. Okay, and
Okay.
I mean, like people pay you really well to create such documentations and like user journeys and user thing. Okay, this is
Okay.
pretty simple. Understanding the requirement and making it into a flow. Okay, so if you see, I'm launching the CMS application. I'm going into the login screen. Log into the application. There are 4 tabs. In that, I take one tab. In that tab, what are all the different functionalities? And when I click on each of those functionalities or features, what happens? All that I've just tracked here. I will show you the entire design which I created also. So for that, I used uh, Canva only. For design, since there was no design team, I just used Canva and I created this system since it was like a freelance project. Okay. The thing is, so this is how you create a user journey. Basically, from your understanding of how you want your product to look like and interact, you create your user journey. Understood?
Yeah.
You saw this sample user journey. I'm going to show you a couple more samples also. Same CMS application, log into the application. Then there is the second tab, and how it interacts is what I've mentioned here. Okay, and this is for another application, pretty straightforward e-commerce application. Okay, you know e-commerce, right?
Yes.
So in this, you see, you launch the application, you log in, then home screen will have a list of catalogs. Then from there, there'll be a list of products. Then the product details page will be there. In that, add to cart button will be there. You go to cart, and then you check out, and you see the order details. Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
This also is a user journey. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now what we'll do is we will see what we previously know. We know what a user persona is. Correct? Now I
Yes.
want to understand what is the difference between a user persona and a user journey. Okay. So user journey, what is user persona? What does it define?
It defines a set of, it caters a set of users, like specific users.
So basically user persona defines who the person is.
Problem. Yeah, the user and its problem.
Yes. But a user journey says how that user behaves.
Yes.
Okay, we have already defined you in yesterday's driver thing. Shiva is this age. He has this habit of looking at the phone. So
Yes.
we will create a journey of how he will create interact with our application. He logs into his Uber application. He looks for rides in the area he is in. He selects the ride when a notification appears. He picks up enters the OTP. He starts the ride. The uh, map shows the navigational path. Yeah, and then he completes the ride, presses on complete. Okay, this is his journey. Okay, so we are calling who is Shiva. That is persona. What Shiva does with the product is the user journey. Got it? So basically, persona explains the mindset of the user. Okay. But journey shows the actions and the emotions of the user. Okay. Together, what they do is they help us in design and creating deeply relevant experiences. Any questions on this so far?
No.
Okay. So now you know what is user persona, what is user journey. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I previously explained what is user journey in general, right? So basically, it is how the customers experience the product. It is a visual timeline of how a user discovers, interacts, and experience a product across different stages, and it helps in understanding the end-to-end user experience. Perfect. So, what are the different key stages? Is there is awareness how the user discovers the product, correct? Then the consideration, deciding whether to go with Uber or Ola. Okay, then the order onboarding, the user actually interacts with the product, the app, and then the usage, they perform some key tasks with that, and then the support and advocacy. Okay,
Okay.
you you are following it so far.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now I showed you samples of user journey, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how this user journey helps. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse engineer it for you. Okay. Usually we will map the user journey, and from the user journey we will create a journey of how the user behaves. Okay.
Hello.
So Karthik, able to hear me?
Yeah. Now able to hear.
I'm having some trouble with my Wi-Fi, man. I actually am sitting next to the Wi-Fi today.
Yeah. But, uh, but it is going smooth actually. Just at this minute only you got disconnected.
Exactly.
It
Yeah. So talking about so what we do is we first
reverse mapping.
not able to see hear me.
Yeah, I am able to hear you. You were saying that reverse mapping of.
So what we are going to do is uh, we usually from the requirement or from our understanding from what solution, what positioning we want to do, we create a user journey. Okay, end to end experience of what a user will do in this entire interaction. Okay, and for that what we will do is once we have the user journey we will talk to the design team. Okay, in creating wireframes and mockups. Let me just simply tell you what is the difference between wireframes and mockups. Okay, wireframe is just a skeleton representation. Like it'll show a box or like a placeholders. It'll show like a box of your screen where logo will be, where the header will be, where the category section will be, where the product listing will be. That is wireframe. Simple. We also call it low fidelity screens. Okay. Please remember these words, because when you interact with the stakeholders, right, they might not always say wireframes. They will say low fidelity screens. Okay.
Okay.
Then there is something called as mockups. Mockups is the actual design. Okay. The design team, the graphic design team, they will give you how the logo should look, what color the logo is, how the logo should look. If there is a header, what color the header is, what are all the elements, what is the name that should be present. If there is a carousel, how the categories or promotional banner, how the promotional banner should look, what should be the size, what should be the width, everything. Okay, that is what a mockup is. Mockup is just nothing but you go to your phone, you open Uber app, take a screenshot. Every color, every detail, every sizing, everything will be there, right? That is a mockup. Now,
Okay.
what you
Mock-up frame.
do?
Mock-up frames. Yeah,
Mockup.
mock-up screens.
Okay. So, but wireframe is nothing but a skeletal representation. It will only
Yeah,
be like
got it.
you do a sketch of it. Okay.
Yeah,
There is a
not
difference
much
between
details.
looking at something and taking a photograph and just looking at something and doing a rough sketch. That rough sketch
Hmm.
is nothing but your mockup. That is why it's called low fidelity screens. Mockup is a high fidelity screen.
Yeah.
Okay. We had the other words for mockup is they call it comps also. They call it designs, graphic designs, comps, mockups, mockup frames, whatever. All these together they call it. Yeah.
Okay.
So what we do is once we have the user journey, we interact with the graphic design team, and they will create the mockup. Okay, they will
Hmm.
create the wireframe. Sometimes we also create the wireframe, or they will
Hmm.
create the wireframe and they'll create the mockup. For this, they have to know, right? They have to know what is the first screen, what is the second screen. When a user clicks on login, what all will be there. When a user after login in, what screen will be. In that screen, what all elements will be there. That information you will be capturing in your user journey. What all actions the user does, and based on the user actions, what are all the system actions. Okay, basically user journey is nothing but a diagrammatic representation of your user stories or your use cases. Okay, the functional flow of your user experience. Basically user story is also nothing but user action corresponding system action. I switch on this switch, that is my user action. The light is lighting up. Yeah, the light glows. That is the system action. Correct? I press the power button in my remote. The TV gets turned on. That is the system action. Correct? So any user action and system action is nothing but your user story or your use case. Okay.
Hmm.
So bringing that in a pictorial visual representation in a end-to-end experience of one particular flow or an entire product's flow, right? All this is nothing but your user journey. Okay. So every time you start a user journey diagram, right, you'll put a persona like a shape of a guy or a girl, like a user. Okay. And you will start from where his interaction with the app starts. It could be at launching the app, it could be at installing the app. Okay, if the app is already installed, it could be logging into the app. Okay, if already is logged in, it could be like clicking on the home screen of the app, something like that. Okay, from there, what all he does to reach his final output, we call it post conditions also. Okay,
But
yeah,
all this is a theoretical thing, na? Like in a workflow, I am explaining theoretically. So
exactly.
how these frames come into picture?
That you will not be doing it. The frames will come into picture when you actually interact with the design team, and they'll create the wireframes and the mockups.
Ah, okay. Like this is not the part of user journey. It is after user journey.
Exactly. what
Okay.
user journey is used for.
Just to explain user flow, what they are doing for particular task.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my design team, I will give them this user journey and they will start creating the wireframes and mock.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Same way, if I have, I'm a product manager. I used to write user stories when I was a product owner or a business analyst. Nowadays, I don't write user stories. I have business analysts under me who write user stories. I'll give them this user journey. I'll ask them to elaborate them into user stories. They will write a sample draft of user stories, and then we will interact further and we will build on top of the user stories. That is called as backlog refinement meetings and all. Okay, grooming sessions we call, backlog refinements we call. Okay, we'll get into the
User journey and user stories are different things.
different things. Let's talk.
Okay.
I'm saying what all are the uses of user journey. You create the user journey, you're going to use it for almost everything.
Yes.
You will use it for design, you will use it for product roadmap, you will use it for prioritization, you will use it for writing user stories, everything you will be using the user journey. Okay, so it is very important from where the development part of it. Understood? Mostly it is inclined towards the development part of it. Got it? I told you, right? Product management, two things, strategic as well as the development part of it. Got it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Clear so
Strategic
far?
implementation. Yes.
Perfect. So now I will show you a sample design which we created. Okay. And what was the user journey diagram which I put to actually create that design also I'll show you. First, I'm going to reverse engineer it. I'll show you what was the output. I will show you what was the input I gave to get that output. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'll just share this. 1 second. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
What do you see?
I'm just seeing logo.
This is a low fidelity wireframe which I created. Okay.
Okay.
This is for a CMS application which we created. Okay.
So,
So
what is
this
the full form of CMS?
content management system.
Okay.
So this is a content management system we created. So this content management system, this syncs up with a database. Okay. And basically the database was also a system called as echelon system. Okay. And that system will sync with this and it will give the content, it will feed this content, and this system will basically segregate the content which is received from the database, and it will uh, display it for the users. Okay. I don't want to
Mm,
explain the product to you. You don't have to know the product. I'm just saying you a sample of what we did. Okay, because it was still a complex product. I don't want to explain that. It's a content management system. It picks up data
okay.
from the database system and it displays it to the user. Okay, it will pick up data from the database on a daily basis. Okay, it will sync up once in a day. Okay,
Okay.
so all that I will be showing. I'll show you that as an example of the design we created. So this is the design we created. As soon as the user launches this application, right, he logs in through this single sign-on, and he sees this page. And ideally, this particular product has four tabs: data sync and approval, content management system. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Spec book generation, archive reports and support. Okay. So basically, like this is this is a section in the screen. This is another section in the screen. This is a button. Okay, this is a button. Say approve. It clicks approved. I can view the details. A pop-up opens. Okay, and then I can reject it. Okay, it gets all this information gets displayed here. Okay, this is the
Okay.
first screen you see. Second scene is it's a content management. Here you have catalogs. I click on a catalog, you will see the list of products. I click on manage, you will see the details of that particular product, where you can manage the product and manage the content of that product, and you can manage the image. Okay. Now I will show you what input I gave to my designer to get this output. Okay.
Hmm. This is the output which designer gave as a low fidelity screen.
Correct. So this is my WBS user. He launches the application. We have a login screen. He logs into the application, and in the application, so this is my input. This is what I gave him. Okay, I'm not giving him a drawed version or anything. I'm giving him this CMS
Hmm.
application with separate tabs for data sync and approval, content management, spec book generation, archives, and reports. So
Correct.
basically, this page is launched. He has different tabs for data sync, content management system, spec book generation, archive, and reports. Perfect.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Correct.
Now
Got it.
we'll talk about first tab, which is data sync and approval. See, data sync and approval, the first tab, right?
Okay.
View the changes from sync between CMS and Insight. Display the change details from recent sync. Approve slash reject CTA. So this is the section I'm talking about. What are the recent changes that has happened? Yeah, pending changes. Look here, pending changes requires approval. The recent changes are displayed here. There are options to click approve or reject it. So that is what I've mentioned here.
Okay.
You're able to understand.
Yes.
Same way, here I will also be seeing the sync status.
Yeah.
Without
Right.
any interaction, without any action, I'll be seeing the sync status. And there is an option to manual sync now. And sync
Hmm.
status will have the last sync, the status, the records, updated pending approvals. See, that's what I mentioned. Sync status with last synced timeline, sync status, and record synced is displayed. And then there is a manual sync option. Click on the manual sync, the run the sync process. And then again, post sync, the new changes are displayed, which will be displayed here. If a sync happens, what will happen? The changes will be displayed here. Correct?
Correct.
So that also I'm capturing. And then capturing, wait, let me reload this. I'm also capturing what will happen on approve and reject, and what will happen on details, clicking on the details. Okay.
Hmm.
And clicking the details, what happens? A pop-up opens. This information is available, and I can close this pop-up.
Okay.
Have I mentioned it somewhere? Uh-huh.
Approve, reject. No, not in this particular.
I think I've not mentioned in this.
Yeah.
I think I missed that. Okay. So basically, leave that. Okay. I click on approve. It's get approved, and
Approved. Yes.
it's updated. Audit trail
Yes.
updated. I click on reject. It get rejected. Audit trail gets approved. Okay.
Yes.
So I've
Correct.
mentioned that changes get approved. The new data gets synced in the CMS. Changes gets rejected. The new data does not get synced in there. audit trail records are getting updated with the recent actions. Correct?
Correct.
Now let me show you the next.
And what are these information in the green and orange box?
That was just more information I was giving to the user. I was creating a
Mhm.
BRD out of this. Okay. So for BRD, I was
Information.
putting some information. Forget about it. It's not part of the user journey.
Okay.
That is something I added for their references. Okay.
Okay.
And there will be sometimes some to be decided and all, right? So all that I mention it as to be decided. See.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I saw that.
So for that, I would have an open question section. It's from a BRD document. I'll just show you the BRD document. Okay. If you want.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to. I'll show you. I'll remove all the compliant information and I'll show it to you later. Okay.
Okay.
Content management. Okay. Logs into the application. He logs into the. He sees that home page. In that content management, he clicks navigate to the content management tab. In the content
Yeah.
management screen, display the list of catalogs. Catalogs. Correct. This is a
Mm-hmm. Correct.
catalog. This is a catalog. Then select the catalog.
Mm.
Display the list of products. Display the list of products within the selected
You
product.
selected catalog. Correct.
Select the product. Displays the entire information of a product. Displays the insight driven data, CMS managed data, image management section. This is insight driven data. Okay. Insight is the name of the system we used. This is the CMS managed data, and this is the image management. Okay.
So user journeys are of two types, which we create like how product should be used, and also we can create with the user's perspective, how user is using just to analyze the real time. You said na?
Correct. Correct. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then view product information. All this I mentioned. Simple, right? User journey.
Yeah. Correct.
So when I gave this as an input, they created this screen as output. Okay. So one thing about that is Karthik. So user journey, you said, is how a user behaves with the product. Okay. But it's not exactly on how he actually behaves because the product is not already available. We are expecting the user would behave like this. We have created a fictitious character who will be our user persona, and we are assuming that particular user persona character will behave in this manner. So it
Yeah.
is
Right.
basically we who are defining how a user will come, interact with our application, how we will launch our application. When he launches application, what all he will see. In that, what are the different options available? What he will click. On clicking, what will happen? Entire functional flow, basically. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Any questions on this so far?
Yeah. This is all for a new product creation, right? We are doing a new product.
Even an enhancement for every user story. Why do you write a user story? Do you write user story only for a new product development? No.
No.
Write it for every single requirement that you are doing. Okay. Uber is already available.
Yes.
Uber application product is already available. I'm going to include the customer's feature of um, reporting when a driver is using the phone while driving.
Yeah.
This is the functionality I'm trying to implement. Okay. For this also, I can map the journey. User logs into the application. User books the app. User books the cab. User is given the OTP going through the application, going through the journey. User notices. You will put it in a box. User notices the cab driver is using the phone. The user launches the app again and clicks on his ongoing driving. ongoing, right? Okay. Show option to report this. Okay. Then show the confirmation message that his report is received. Okay. Show the status of his action. Okay. And resolved output. Correct. This is also a functional flow. Uber is already
But
an app.
for this small observation, like we have to remove that particular, like we have to implement different provisions. We as a solution for this small step, is it relevant to create such journey document? Like okay,
Journey should include everything.
like this can be simplified, na? Like in one document only, without naming the document as user journey document. We can just specify the problem statement to the
Basically,
business.
Karthik, we are smart. We are product managers. We will say give provision to the user to report it in his ongoing journey when the driver is using the application.
Yeah.
But you cannot expect your developer, tester to know that. Correct? For the developer, you should tell him entirely. You will say this is the requirement. But your user journey will only help him understand the end-to-end flow. Because Uber is some application you are able to understand. Okay. Most of the applications you work on, right? The developer will not even know where he is working, what he is working on. You will only know a little bit of requirement. Okay. So the more the input information we give, right, the more better it would be for him. Okay. He should know, like, forget Uber. For any other complex application that you're working on, there will be multiple uh, navigational pathways to reach that screen. Let's talk about Amazon. Amazon has product details page. How can you reach
Hmm.
product details page?
Product details page. Just as of now, just click on the product, and then we have the whole web page where specifications are there.
You can go launch the Amazon app. There'll be categories. You can click on the categories. There'll be list of products. From the list of products, you can click on a product and it will give you the product details. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Second, I can go to search. I can type the searched word. I can directly see the list. I can click on it, go to product details page. Correct? Based on how a user interacts with the product, say if he's coming through categories, I want to show some requirement. If he's coming through search, I don't want to show him a particular, for example, let's say breadcrumbs will be there in the top of the Amazon site, right? Okay. That breadcrumb will show you how you navigated to that particular thing. Thumbnail, so you can navigate back also. Correct? Yeah.
Hmm.
If he navigated from search, it will show search. If he's navigated from categories, it will show the list of categories you have to click to come to this page. Correct? Say you are giving a requirement to customize that breadcrumb. Okay. In that case, you have to tell him how he reached there, right? So based on how he reached there, you have to display it. For that, you should also tell him what are the ways to reach that to that particular page. Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
That is why it is important for you to actually map it in a journey. Okay. Because the
Okay.
developer developing it, he will not understand where to keep that button, when to keep that button. Is that button important or not important? It should be visible or not. Nothing he'll understand. You cannot just say, give this button when this happens. You should say how a user will interact. That is why it is the end to end experience, correct? The end to end journey. Based on that, it gives you a direction to a development. Okay. These are all additional things you add in your BRD documents. Forget about the developer who's building it. Okay. Consider a business user or a stakeholder. Stakeholder will not even understand how they have gone to this. Okay. In my document, I will say, I will simply say, launch the application user is in the CMS screen. He will not even know what to launch, where to launch, nothing. Okay.
Okay.
When he launches, then whether he will not even know to log in or not. You have to clearly mention you have to log in. If you just go and say in the CMS application, provide manual sync button. Any business user who is user journey will be used in your BRD documents. Okay. So when they look into the BRD document, they will see what is the business requirement you are trying to solve. Okay. This user journey will only give them the idea of how it flows, not just the new BRD or FRDs, right? You do not write only for new product development. You write it for existing developments also. Got it?
Okay. Very interesting. Okay. If we want to change something in the existing journey, then we can create the current user flow and then updated user flow. Is this kind of thing
That
you're
also
saying?
you can do. This all your the way you want to do it, Karthik.
Yeah, just
It is
how we
contextual,
communicate the information.
yeah, it's contextual to each product manager.
Yeah.
So what I would do is if it depends on who my target audience is. If it is a developer who's already worked on it, I
Mm.
will say go to the product selection flow. So instead of giving all this, I'll say
Ah,
user is in product selection flow. In product selection flow, make these changes.
yeah, yeah. This is contextual. Yeah, that what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it is a new developer, he doesn't know where this product is, I'll
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
product development, product selection flow also I will show.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Got it.
So you understood how my product user journey creates
Low fidelity diagrams.
low fidelity diagrams. This is one example. From user journey, they could also start writing user stories. Okay. Like,
Okay.
let me share my screen. So say we are writing a requirement for product listing.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Product listing. Selected.
So from this, you can say precondition user is already logged into the application and is currently in the home screen. Okay.
Yes.
Acceptance
Okay.
criteria. As a user, I should be able to click or select a catalog.
Yes.
As a user, I should be able to view the list of products in the product listing screen on selecting the catalog.
Yes.
Perfect. So
Correct.
from this user journey, now I'm also able to create the user stories.
Okay.
You can get
Like.
into the details. So basically, user journey is like a soul for understanding the end-to-end user interaction that you expect out of a user in your product, and that you want to communicate to your business, you want to communicate to your development team, you want to communicate to your designers, you want to communicate to your business analyst, product owner, everything. This user journey will help. So why we are talking about user journey so early is we will be talking about this in product development also. But why I want to bring up user journey here is that we spoke about user persona, correct?
Yes.
Spoke about
Yes.
who the user is. We should also
Yes.
speak about how that user will interact. We spoke about the behavior or the need of a user. Here we are also speaking about the mindset or how the user interacts with the product. Okay.
Correct.
Why
With
I'm
user
talking about.
journey.
So two things user persona majorly uses for product positioning and user journey. So that is why I started with user persona,
Okay.
then I explained you product positioning, and then
Yes.
here I am explaining user journey also.
User journey.
Because
Got it.
all these are interconnected with your user persona.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Got it.
So that is the example of user journey. And let me just call you the 1 second, Karthik. Are you able to see
Hmm.
my screen?
No, screen is not shared.
1 second. Let me share it. Okay. So that is majorly it, Karthik. Okay. That is
Uh,
about user journey. I am
yes.
trying to create an assignment for you now. Okay.
But you were explaining na, after user journey regarding user stories. I thought you were about to explain that.
User stories we'll get into when we are talking about product development.
Ah, okay, okay,
Okay. User journey itself, I didn't want to talk about it here, but
okay.
I want you to understand where user persona is helpful. That is why I'm
Yeah.
talking about user journey here. We'll talk about it when we completely product agile product development is a different stage. We will talk about the execution strategic part of it first fully. So next we still have product prioritization, then product roadmap. Okay, and then we will get into the product strategy also. Okay, basically your business and business case where you define the problem and solution is your product vision. Okay,
Mm.
and your positioning, you positioned it for every particular persona, right? When you do it for an entire product, it is your product strategy. Okay,
Okay.
same way we will talk about product roadmap also. For talking about product roadmap, we have to talk about product prioritization. There are multiple techniques. Okay, so when talking about prioritization, what you will prioritize, we will prioritize the features. Okay, how will you get the features? Your features is the set of requirements which you have to build to achieve your solution which you have built. All right.
Mm.
From
Yes.
the business
Yes.
case document. Everything is interconnected, Karthik. Okay.
Yes.
So, solution you have arrived through the product business case, right? So, from that solution, you will have high level features. From that high level features, you will then do prioritization. You will decide which of them is uh, uh, prioritized to be implemented first. Next phase, iteratively, you will build agile way, right? Iterative building, there's a sprint one, sprint two, sprint three, and all they'll call it, right? Yeah. And then you will decide from that, that will form your product roadmap. Okay. Then there is planning. Okay. In planning, you will interact with the development team and you will understand the efforts required for implementing each of these high level features. They will come up with something called as t-shirt sizing. Okay, and then you will start interacting with the design team in creating the mock-ups and wireframes for these high level features, correct? And then you will start creating epics and user stories. Okay, when you create user stories, you will elaborate on all the information there, then you will provide a walkthrough, then the development will start, testing will happen, and then you will validate and you will demo the product, and then finally you launch the product through multiple iterations together. Okay,
Okay.
this is the sequence we will be going in. Okay, so
Okay.
my next sequential execution will be on prioritization and product roadmap and MVP, minimum viable product.
Minimum. Yeah.
So these kind of things we will be looking at, and then we will get into the agile product development of it. Then wireframing, how to do wireframes, how to do they discuss with the design team and coming up with the markups. Where do you find those references? How to create an epic? What is an epic? How to create a user story? What is a user story? Okay, and what is story points? How you define the story points? All those we will talk about it.
In product development. Okay. In development also, I got to learn about how to create this Canva frames.
You can, yes, I'll teach you.
Okay.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
let me give you the assignment. Okay,
Yeah. Sure. Is it possible this week to connect in between?
This week is pretty tough. I might be going to office a lot, Karthik. But
Hmm.
I'll ping you on.
Yeah, let me know.
We are going at a good pace, Karthik.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a concern.
I don't want to overload you.
Okay.
Okay, Karthik.
Actually, due to some concerns, I was thinking just to prepare myself for a switch. Uh, so in this month, I was like, my target is was to submit paper in January, in the month of January.
You will be ready in product management by then. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's start. If I were you, I will start with entry level opportunities where there is scope for learning. Okay,
yeah,
and then take it up from there.
sure.
Okay, I've shared you the assignment. I want you to start it. It's based on the user persona which you created yesterday, so that you will understand. You will have a continuity. Are you able to see it?
What is the second point in the task?
Just a minute. Let me check.
User draw.io, Miro, Vision, or any workflow tool.
Those are tools. Let me
I
just show.
thought, okay, the application user journey sample.
You able to see my screen?
Just a second. Yes. Draw.io, flow chart. Okay.
Able to see my screen.
Yes, yes.
So when I have to draw something, this is what I'll draw.
Okay. Text element where it is like in this general, or I can search it, right? If I type text over there,
Yes,
then I'll get the text box. Yeah, okay. I can create this in Word as well. Like,
you can create in Word, but you will get a lot of such elements, shapes, and everything
correct.
in this.
Entity diagrams. Okay.
Understood?
We can't use AI for these creations
You can,
somehow.
okay, but I want you to learn.
Okay.
What we will do, we'll take that as an exercise for you. You are able to see this, how I'm creating.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, just drag and drop click tool. It is right.
Uh,
So it's fine.
Something like this. This is how we'll keep growing, right? Keep building
Yes.
on top of this, top of this, top of this. But the thing is, you should have the entire vision while you are doing it. You understand?
Hmm. And also regarding this assignment, I was looking into it. So for this assignment, I have to understand exact, like I have to imagine the exact flow, what problems.
I told you the flow, right? Basically, the user should be have a provision. In fact, in our discussions, I already told you the flow. The user should have a provision. It should be click on as ongoing, right? You should have a provision, which is like a button, like a SOS button. Should be able to
Yeah,
click on
and
it.
so this is a only one step, one or two step thing, na? That's why, like,
Start
I'm
from the
thinking
entire journey. I want it from the entire journey. User launches.
booked a ride.
Started. Yes, already started the ride. From that, I want you to. I want the entire journey, Karthik. Okay, this is not to just understand that you are able to do this little bit. I want you to use this to create the entire journey
Entire journey, right from like after the journey started or from booking the ride.
from booking the ride. You have created a persona, right? Think what that persona will do. Whether that persona will select an auto or a cab or a car.
Yeah, right.
That is why this is linked with the persona. You have
Hmm.
already decided the persona, right? In your persona, you have decided what kind of a person he is. You know his behavior. For that behavior, you're creating the journey.
Okay. Task for the customer user persona. Okay, for the customer user persona, like not driver interface thing, I have to explain. I have to explain user, I
Customer
think.
persona only,
Yeah.
not the
Okay.
driver.
Okay.
That will be a different journey.
Hmm. Yes. Hmm.
Let's start. Whenever you want to create a document, Kartik, or a deliverable, whenever you're given a task, right, start doing it. The more you think, right, you will procrastinate. Okay, I have done that past experience. I'm saying out of past. I'll keep on thinking. Okay, I have to create this journey document. I have to create this positioning document. Where will I start? What is the information I
Ah,
need? All
yeah.
that I'll keep on thinking. I'll waste 2 days. Once I start, okay, it's okay. Let me start typing. Let me get into that document. Once you start typing, once you start getting into the document, you will actually get the information needed. Because only now we have ChatGPT, which will already give you a start. Okay,
Yeah.
you can work on that. But before, you had to think the journey. You had to think the user story. You have to think the BRD, right? That's all you. So at that time, the more the time you keep on thinking, the more the time will waste. So you should just start doing it, and then you can like make draft versions, better it.
Okay. Got it. So I'll just start creating that.
Katik, I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, sure, sure. I'm just start doing that assignment.
Karthik, how's it going? Hello, Karthik, how's it going?
Yeah, actually, it is going a bit slow, but I understood the assignment. I was able to do it,
Can I
and
see what you've done so far?
yeah,
It'll take time because the first time you're playing around with the
yes, actually.
will take time. It might look very simple to begin with.
Where is that? Yeah.
When you just look at the diagram, right, it'll look very simple. But when you actually put it, it'll take time. Could you zoom?
Okay. Yeah.
See, make sure after you do it, you either download it, that particular thing you can save, or you can also snip it. Okay.
Yeah, I can snip it. Yeah, I'll share this as well. Yeah, okay. Got it.
Okay, Karthik. In that case, the other half an hour I wanted to discuss about the yesterday's assignment. But since you have not done that, probably we can discuss that in next class. Okay.
Yeah, okay, okay then. No
Sure.
issues.
In that case, I will just I'll catch up with you in the next class.
Okay. And on LinkedIn, if possible, like we will.
Any preponing you want some anything to prepone, you text me in LinkedIn. I will also text you. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Got it.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much, Karthik. You have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.